As kids, I used to put on heels. I used to do all those things. I try to put on whatever my sisters wear. When one of my sisters did, I try to do those things. So at first, I said to myself, oh no, I did that. So I ain't just doing the things that I did. As kids, I used to put on heels. I used to do all those things. I try to put on whatever my sisters wear. When one of my sisters did, I try to do those things. So at first, I said to myself, oh no, I did that. So I ain't just doing the things that I did.
What's going on, guys? I'm Jaye the Black. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. Make sure y'all like this video and share and click that notification bell, all right? I want to talk about Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was doing a sit-down interview with the I Am Athlete podcast. Well, apparently they had Dwayne Wade on, and this particular clip, he talked about how when he was younger, he wore heels and dressed like his sisters because he did whatever his sisters did. And if you look at the faces of the different guys on the podcast, you could tell that they was a little bit, they were caught off guard by that, and they didn't know how to react. And I understand that. Listen, we all do silly things as children, especially as boys. You know, I grew up with sisters, but I never tried to dress like them ever. I never tried to put on a dress or, wear heels. Nothing like that. But again, we're talking about people in different situations. Dwayne grew up in his childhood wasn't the best. And it was amazing that he was able to make a success of himself outside of the issues that he had growing up. So hearing this from Dwayne Wade, it makes a lot of sense as to why his transitioning son, Zaya, is accepted the way that he's accepted his son. I'm the type of person, I'm not going to tell people how to act, how to raise their children, how to raise their family. But these are things that we got to talk about. We got to talk about these type of things. Because, especially in the black community, they love to talk about how there's a lot of phobia towards gays. Even when I grew up, there were males who identified as gay, and I don't think there was this phobia. That's just who they were, and that's how we knew of them as they were. Was certain slurs used at times? Yes, but that was prevalent everywhere. It wasn't just black communities everywhere with those slurs. You can look at old movies and TV shows, certain slurs were used, right? Even in the alphabet community, they use those slurs against each other. But when you look at Dwayne Wade and him revealing all of this, it just shows you why he's so accepting of this. But I just don't think that it's right for Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union to try to say, hey, he's not a boy, that's a girl now. I don't think that's right. I think the child should not have to should not be in a situation of choosing their gender. I just think that whatever you're born as, that's who you are. You can't just say one day I'm gonna be this and that. But you do have that going on. But when it comes to these young children, I think they're being used for political reasons. I think that Zaya Wade is being used for a political agenda. Now, I think that people should be allowed to live their life the way that they want to live it. But I do not think that children, adolescents, should be able to choose their gender. I don't think so. I don't. I think that's very detrimental. And now they're pushing initiatives to try to teach young children about having relations. They're having these males dressed up as women going into these schools. They want to indoctrinate and brainwash your children. But you got to understand, this has been a plan for years. They want an androgynous society. They don't want strong males. They don't want strong families. Well, if you're the same gender, they don't mind you being a family. This is why it's very important for young for young boys to have strong male role models, because the only way to keep a community safe, the only way to be able to raise your family the right way is to have strong male leadership. And the crazy thing is, you have so many women talking about, we need to end patriarchy. We need to fight back against patriarchy. Well, if it wasn't for patriarchy, you would not be able to live the comfortable life you're living, especially in America. A lot of these women take what we have going on for granted, but without strong, capable men, you don't have a strong, capable society. You do not. And I feel like Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are using his son to push a narrative. I have nothing against adults wanting to transition and do whatever it is that makes them happy, right? Living your life the way you want to. You're not out here being political. Have no problem with people of the same genders dating each other. I mean, it is what it is. Date each other. You're living your life. You're not pushing agenda. You're not bringing harm to anybody else. But when you're involving adolescents in this political atmosphere, people are going to disagree with it. It ain't a situation where Zaya is over the age of 18 and decides to make this, choice in life. That's not what's going on here. You have an effort by Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union to make Zaya the face of trans girls and trans boys. That's what it looks like. And children or adolescents should not be involved in this. That is why people are pushing back. If Zaya again was an adult and made this choice, no one would care as much. I don't think no one would care. But when you are involving children into this BS, people are going to push back on it because they're trying to push this ridiculous narrative into schools. They're trying to indoctrinate the young. I don't agree with that. I don't think the young should be indoctrinated with this mess. But this is what's going on. And hopefully people understand this. Hopefully people understand that we are in a time where they don't want you to have strong families. They don't want boys to be raised as boys. They don't want girls to be raised as girls. They even want the girls to be masculine. They want women. That's what they try to push in these movies and TV shows, that you should not embrace your femininity, that it's okay to abort your fetus. They're not here. You're here. You know how many women have had multiple abortions and they still have children? Because they don't have discipline with their bodies. They're not disciplined. They're obsessed with having relations with different men unprotected. They're not being careful. And they want to be able to go to a clinic to alleviate their accountability. And now you have Dwayne Wade prostrating himself, saying, hey, I used to wear heels. I used to dress up in dresses like my sisters. Why are you putting that out there? To justify the fact that you are pushing your youngest, well, not your youngest now, but your youngest boy to be a female. And you've been doing it for the last couple of years. It's not something that just happened overnight or in the last couple of months. This is something that you've been doing for the last couple of years. You and your wife in your weird marriage. I also want to say this too. I really don't believe that Dwayne Wade would be pushing these narratives if he wasn't with Gabrielle Union. You see, Gabrielle Union is very experienced in the industry, and she understands that by pandering to certain ideals and certain groups, you can build a brand off that. And that's what they are doing now. Because see, Dwayne Wade did the responsible thing. He took control over the custody of his children because he felt like they would have been in a better, safer, healthier environment with him. And now you look and you're utilizing your youngest son to push these certain narratives with these children, but they have a clothing line, because it's like, you know, they want to build a brand towards younger alphabet community peoples, right? Persons, whatever they identify as. That's what they're doing. That's what they want their brand to be. You never, under any circumstances, want to make your children into a brand, but that's what D Wade and Gabrielle Union has done. You know, especially Gabrielle. She's embraced this. She's embraced this. You know, she doesn't have her acting career to really look towards as far as building anything upon that, even though she does work here and there. So what's the next best thing? To build a brand, use your children in order to build a brand. I still don't think an adolescent should be choosing their gender. You have to be able to teach your children to be who they were born to be. Now, whatever they choose to be when they become 18, that is totally on them. But the fact that you're saying, well, Zaya just told me they were this, and I said I am in full support of this. It's like, come on, brother. It's not how it goes, man. You took control over the parenting of your children because you wanted them to grow up in a healthy environment. Not a, you know, because again, you don't know what Zaya's state of mind is going to be when they become an adult. They may end up blaming you for confusing them. We've seen how these children are raised, and then when they get older, they have resentment towards their parents. They have mental health issues, even though the people say, well, maybe they weren't accepted. Well, there are situations where they are accepted as who they are, and they still have issues. Why is that? So I want people to understand this. I'm not here to tell D Wade how to raise his children, but you can't be allowing your children to choose who they want to be. Now, if they are, you know, being a character from a movie or a TV show that they like, and they have this nickname for themselves, I mean, it is what it is. But when they're trying to become an entirely different person and you embrace that, what does that say about you? You telling the story about wearing dresses and heels or dressing like a girl to follow behind your sisters. Maybe you're living vicariously through Zaya. Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I will see you on the next one.